Good morning, Flat Fam. Yeah, look at me. I'm still tired. Just woke up after some troublesome sleep. Went to bed late. It was too hot, you know. And I hung around in the Flat Earth Initiative live chat. So, you know, going to bed late in the heat, it's not optimal, you know. But I just finished my cup of coffee with, let's see if you can see it, uh, the golden monkey spoon. Yeah, you know, you gotta spoon feed trolls. Anyway, I wanted to talk about space cake. And I don't mean the space cake you get in Amsterdam, you know. I'm way past that, you know. Although globies and flat earthers that are all stoned and high, it's all fine by me, you know. Have your recreational drugs, but it's not me. I'm more down to earth. Because you can get a good high just being sober. So we're gonna talk about space cake as in what happens in thermodynamics in space. And I'm a monkey, you know. I'm not smart. I'm just a simple doofus, you know. I got my bike here. My boards are in the hallway. I got some nice pictures on the wall, you know. Those pictures will come later. Anyway, you got a space station up in space in a vacuum. In a vacuum we cannot recreate on Earth's atmosphere. And which is fine, you know. Have your fun up there. Be high, smoke more. Maybe, you know, do whatever you want. But don't believe the shit you experience when you're high. That's the first step to psychosis. Yeah, most people don't understand psychology nor they understand reality. So that's up for them, you know. If they want to get high, then, you know, be my guest. I like Cypress Hill just as any other music lover, you know. When you're up in space, in the vacuum of space, you got a problem with thermodynamics. You got materials, elements that are not having any electron interactions with their surrounding. Just one-sided, you know. If you have the skin of the ISS, whatever material they got on there, the outside layer of atoms and molecules are exposed to the vacuum of space, which means, you know, it's not the vacuum, you know, it's not the Hoover of space. It's the vacuum, the lack of elements surrounding the matter which it occupies space. So the electrons have a free range of motion, you know, they have no limitation of vibration when exposed to the vacuum. So over time, the electrons will wiggle their way free. It's like a slow burning because there is no resistance from the outside. So they start to spin or move or vibrate. I don't know. I don't have X-ray eyes, I cannot see what's going on, but that's theory. That's their theory. If you have no resistance from the outside, then it wants to accelerate. The energy in the electron wants to accelerate. And if you think I'm talking bullshit, then just go to your physics class, get a vacuum jar, put in a glass of water, and see what it does to the surface and what happens inside the water. The molecules want to speed up and boil and evaporate, become a gas, and then, because it's a vacuum pump in a artificial setting, they're going to be sucked out before they get even faster and faster. And in that process, they're going to be slowed down because they get confined to a narrower space. So it remains in a gaseous state. But in space, they got all the room to get beyond their earthly speeds. So you got the skin of the ISS going at speed. Yeah, that's another crazy idea, but as if speed inside a vacuum is speed. We measure speed because we got resistance. Whole different topic. You got the skin exposed to a vacuum that's so big you cannot replicate it. The outside layer of atoms will get loose by their own friction of electrons spinning or moving, vibrating, and they will push themselves off the matter, the sheet of metal or aluminum or titanium or whatever exotic shit they use for the ISS. And then they start to vibrate, and they will go on until they reach critical speed, and they will become plasmatic because there is nothing stopping them. So how can a ISS or another space station, whatever they had before, I'm not good at names and all that bullshit, how could they stay up there for so long? If, I got a chain and it's corroding, it's metal. It's oxidizing. It's a slow burn. Oxidization is slow burning. It means the metal particles, the iron, is interacting with the oxygen. When there's no oxygen, they don't interact, but they just keep reacting to the fact that there is nothing to interact with. So explain me, how does that work, in space? Because there is nothing out there to confine the movement of the molecule and the electrons. Unless you believe in a magical fairy tale that matter can sit around in a vacuum for forever. It doesn't make any sense, That's space cake. That's getting high on something which was explained long ago. It goes beyond me. Yeah. Space dudes are high on theoretical bullshit without thinking through the basics. Really. There is no science on Earth that tells you that matter will stay at the same thermodynamic state in a vacuum. There is no science about it. So, who's the science denier? Like, get your head around it. Well, anyway, I need another cup of coffee. My eyes are still closed, you know. I'm still sleepy. Anyway, this was the layer cake, or the space cake. And our upper layer is called space, but it can't be a vacuum, you know. Let's call it sky. It's easier to fathom.